Hello everyone, it's Cam, welcome to another video. Now today we're going to do another first time listens video. Now this is listens of stuff I've done since from April and May of this year. And there's actually one which I forgot to show in the edition before this, so it's kind of a re-showing. So a February listen that I forgot to show in that video. That'll be at the end though. So we've got a couple of CDs and a few records to show, so we're just going to go into it. First one up is Paul McCartney, Memory Almost Full. This is his 2007 album, and it's a really great album. I really enjoyed it. I love Dance Tonight, See Your Sunshine, Gratitude, That Was Me, Nod Your Head, Feet in the Clouds, Only Mama Knows. So yeah, a lot of great songs in this album, one I really enjoyed. A lot of these songs were had been they'd been like leftovers from the Chaos and Creation in the Backyard Session, which is another great album that I really like. A lot of these I think have been recorded at, during the Chaos and Creation sessions, and some were recorded later. So yeah, a really good album. I really enjoyed it. Hope to get this one on vinyl, but it is quite hard to get on vinyl. But I'm hoping that the McCartney camp do this as an archive edition, which would be really cool to see. I haven't really been paying attention to too much of the archive editions, but I really hope to get some of the ones that I've not really got. Things like Venus and Mars and Wings at Speed of Sound is an archive, and Tug of War and Pipes of Peace, and Flowers in the Dirt has been an archive. What else? Flamin' Pie was a recent one. So I'm hoping we get a reissue of Memory Almost Full, or maybe an archive re-release of Memory Almost Full, because we have a reissue of Chaos and Creation, which I'll hopefully get one day. I think this one I listened to the same day as Paul McCartney, but at a different time. Mika, My Name is Michael Holbrook. This is his most recent album from 2019. And it's surprisingly really good. It's a really good album. I really enjoyed it. I really like Tiny Love. Ice Cream was a real fun song. Paloma was a really nice song. I really loved Paloma. San Remo, Tomorrow. The Tiny Love Reprise was great as well. Platform Ballerinas was pretty good too. So yeah, the whole album was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think this is also on vinyl, and it shouldn't be too difficult to get. But it's a really, really good album. I really enjoyed it because I hadn't really... When it came to Mika, I hadn't really paid too much attention to Mika after The Boy Who Knew Too Much. I kind of discovered other music that I liked and didn't really listen to Mika as much as I used to back, I think, when Grace Kelly first came out. But this was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope to get the other two that have been released in between The Boy Who Knew Too Much, which were The Origin of Love from 2012 and No Place Like Heaven, I think. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, No Place Like Heaven, I think it's called, from 2015. But yeah, great album. Really enjoyed this. This one. Mika, My Name is Michael Holbrook, 2019. Now the albums now. First up is Johnny Cash, American Recordings. Now, I've been on a bit of a Johnny Cash sort of phase recently. Been getting some albums and listening to them. But yeah, this one was a great start to the American recordings, because Johnny's career in the late 70s, early 80s had slumped since One Piece at a Time in 1976. Although he had success with the supergroup The Highwaymen in 1985, his record sales had been falling, and Columbia Records then dropped him in 1986. After a brief stint with Mercury, that didn't really go anywhere. He didn't have much success with Mercury. He was kind of more or less a popular live act, a live concert attraction. But however, in 1993, that was to all change when he met producer Rick Rubin, and Rick signed him to his American Recordings label, and this album came out. It's a really great album. It came out in 1994. I really like Delia's Gone, Let the Train Whistle Blow, The Beast in Me, 13, Bird in the Wire, Down There by the Train, Redemption, and Like a Soldier. And The Man Who Couldn't Cry is quite a pretty fun, pretty humorous song. I quite like it. Yeah, really great. I had it in the CD for ages, but I don't know why I never really listened to it. But now I've got the vinyl, I played it, and I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, really great album. Johnny Cash, American Recordings from 1994. Next up, one I bought in my recent vinyl, Gary U.S. Bonds and the American Men, Standing in the Line of Fire. Yeah, pretty good album. I really enjoyed it. I like the title track, Sneaking Away. Dance was a good song. City Lights was great. Come On, Let's Go was a great song, and You Are the One was a great closer as well. So this came out in 1984. I'd previously known of Gary U.S. Bonds because of Bruce Springsteen writing and producing songs for him with Steve Van Zandt. But he'd been known in the 60s. But this was one, and I was just happy to settle with those two albums that I've got. But this one I heard of and was quite good, and it was quite cheap in a record shop, and I got it, and I really enjoyed it. So I might actually get the other Gary U.S. Bonds albums now, since I really enjoyed this one. But this was a great album from 1984. The title track was even, the fact I should have mentioned was that the title track was written and produced by Steve Van Zandt as well, or he's called Little Steven on here. So yeah, really good album, really enjoyed it. Gary U.S. Bonds and the American Men, Standing in the Line of Fire from 1984. Next up is the fabulous Johnny Cash. This is 1958 album, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it. This was his first Columbia CBS album, because he'd been with Sun Records, and then he got successful with Sun and had a very successful stint with Columbia, starting with this album in 1958. It's really good. I really like Run Softly, Blue River, Frankie's Man Johnny, The Troubadour, I Still Miss Someone, Don't Take Your Guns to Town, Pickin' Time, and Supper Time was good as well. But the whole album was really good as well. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, really good album. I really enjoyed it. I don't know much to say about this one, but it's a great album. I really enjoyed it. Johnny Cash, the fabulous Johnny Cash. Some songs I think I'd heard on compilations, but this vinyl was kind of the first time I heard the album in full, because I think I've had a lot of CD versions of it, this album. One in a compilation called The Real Johnny Cash, and I think a copy of the fabulous Johnny Cash I bought a few years ago now. Yeah, really good album. I really enjoyed it one. Fabulous Johnny Cash, 1958. Down to two from the April-May before we go into the February one. Next one, Foreigner Inside Information, 1987. This was surprisingly really good. I really enjoyed it. I know it was like, I know Tin for Things between Mick and Lou weren't really brilliant by this point, but it's actually surprisingly a really good album. I really enjoyed it. And the reason why I played this one, because I recently saw Foreigner in concert at the Hydro, and they were brilliant live. And I was looking for one of their albums that I hadn't heard yet to listen to, and this was one that just, out of random, I just picked. I really liked Heart Turns to Stone, Say You Will, I Don't Want to Live Without You, the title track's good, Out of the Blue, Night to Remember's pretty good too. The whole album was actually pretty good. I quite enjoyed it. I mean, I know it's different. It was a follow-up to Agent Provocateur, the 1984 that had I Want to Know What Love Is. And this was actually good. It didn't really sell as well as the others, but it's still a good album. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, really good album. Really good album. Inside Information from 1987. And this was the last one to feature Dennis Elliott and Rick Wills. No, I think it was the last one to feature. It was the last of the 80s lineup, and it was the last to feature Lou Gramm until 1994's Mr. Moonlight album. And I think Dennis, I'm not sure if Dennis and Rick were on Unusual Heat in 1991. They may have been, I'm not too sure. But yeah, a good album. Last one is another one that I just recently saw in concert, Queen. This is A Day at the Races from 1976. And this is actually a really good album, one I really liked. It was the follow-up album to A Night at the Opera, which had the very big hit Bohemian Rhapsody in 1975. And this was another really good one. I really liked Tie Your Mother Down, great opener. Take Your Breath, Take My Breath Away, The Millionaire Waltz, Unite, I Know the Hits, Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy, Someone to Love from the Greatest Hits, and they're both great songs too. I liked Tio, I don't know how to say it, but Let Us Cling Together, the last track was a good song as well. So yeah, really good album. It's just as good as Day in the Race, Night at the Opera, I'd say. Different, but it is a good album. And they've kept the theme similar to the album cover design with A Night at the Opera. I'm sure everybody knows that. But yeah, great album. Night at the Opera by Queen from 1976. Last one, this is the February one, which I should have included in the February video, but I don't think I did. I'm going to include it again anyway. George Harrison, Cloud 9. This was a really great album. I really enjoyed this one. This was George's comeback album. After having 5 years of not really made much music since 1982's Gone Tropa, which wasn't really well received and was a pretty commercial disastrous performance. But this one was a pretty good album. I really enjoyed it. I like the title track, That's What It Takes, Just For Today, This Is Love, When We Was Fab, Devil's Radio, and Got Mine Set On You was good as well. But the whole album was great. I really enjoyed it. It was produced by Jeff Lynne, and it featured contributions as well from Elton John, Ringo, and even Eric Clapton as well. So this is a really good album, one I really enjoyed, and I would recommend it to Beatles fans who haven't heard this album, because it is actually a really good album. After this one, George will go on to do the Traveling Wilburys with Jeff as well as Tom Petty, Roy Orbison, and Bob Dylan as well. So yeah. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to do more content quite soon and have different ideas for more content. And see you next time.